Hello, I'm John Walsh. As someone who's involved in crime solving, I've seen what a dramatic impact computer technology can have on law enforcement. I'm sure all of you at the Department of Justice realize how much easier computers have made your jobs. But even though we appreciate what computers can do for us, sometimes we take them for granted and don't properly safeguard their information. Sometimes it seems like we look at computers as if they were electronic filing cabinets. In some ways they are, but they're really much, much more. They also help us to communicate with each other, the public, and the world. If we don't keep them secure, their valuable information can easily be lost, stolen, or distorted. At the Department of Justice, employees are responsible for processing a huge amount of sensitive information. All your divisions, from litigation to public support, work with information that needs to be protected. And if it's not protected, even the most seemingly trivial information, like a social security number or an address, can lead to very serious or even tragic consequences. Take, for example, a real case that involved surplus computer equipment sold at a government auction. This equipment had been used in a U.S. attorney's office. Before it was sold, all of the information was supposed to have been erased. The memories of these computers held sensitive data, including the names of undercover agents, informants, and federally protected witnesses. Unfortunately, after the sale, the government learned that all of the information was not erased. The department may never know if any of this information was compromised. If it was accessed, it would put many people into a life-threatening situation. In order to help each of you avoid situations like this, we'll discuss 3 aspects of computer security. First, we're going to explain what we mean by sensitive information and what kinds of information you need to protect. Second, we'll discuss risk management, which refers to the reason why computer security is important and why all of us need to be part of that effort. Finally, we'll talk about accountability, which explains your responsibilities as a computer user and how all Department of Justice employees can protect themselves and their information. Unless you know what the term sensitive information means, it's difficult to determine whether or not your work is sensitive. Although your data may not be labeled classified, it may still be sensitive and you need to protect it. In technical terms, sensitive information means anything which could adversely affect the national interest, the conduct of federal programs, or would violate the Privacy Act if lost, misused, modified, or if someone gained unauthorized access. Simply put, everything at the Department of Justice is considered to be sensitive information. Information sensitivity can be broken down into 3 categories: confidentiality, integrity, and availability. Confidentiality means that the information in your computer system needs to be protected from unauthorized disclosure. For example, time-sensitive information like pretrial data, procurement information, and information covered by the Privacy Act, like someone's social security number, as we discussed earlier. Integrity means how accurate your data is. Your data will only be accurate if it's well protected. Unauthorized access to your computer could lead to integrity problems. For example, someone could get into your file and change data intentionally or unintentionally. Inadvertent mistakes, which may be as simple as inputting a wrong number or letter into a file, also threaten integrity. Anytime accuracy is critical, integrity is vitally important. Here's one that's easy to remember: availability. Availability involves information that needs to be, well, available at a specific time, even instantaneously, such as payroll information and law enforcement support systems. For instance, the work we do here at America's Most Wanted is a good example of availability. The information we receive from callers needs to be dispatched immediately, and any delay in relaying information to the appropriate law enforcement agencies could mean the difference between a capture or a criminal just slipping out of our reach. Remember, the easiest thing to do is to consider everything you work with to be sensitive information. That way, you'll develop good security habits to help protect the data you're working with every day. As little as 10 years ago, I'd venture to say that most people didn't even know how to log on to a computer. Today, we have 12-year-olds writing sophisticated software programs. As more people get involved with computers, your systems are more vulnerable than ever before. The fact that most of your computers are linked together makes security more difficult. As a result, anyone on your network can gain access to your work if you don't protect it. What you need to do is reduce the possibility that your computers may be broken into and that this information can be used in the wrong way. Risk management can help you accomplish this. So obviously, risk management is anything you do to minimize risk to your computer systems. In order to practice good risk management skills, you need to determine what risks are out there. Once you or your management team have determined what they are, then it's a simple matter of establishing and following common sense security procedures. Naturally, you can't expect to eliminate all the risks. After all, if you build a better lock, someone's going to find a better way to pick it. But you can take steps to minimize risk. And that's what computer security at the Department of Justice is all about. Now that we've talked about what sensitive information is and have a good idea why it needs to be protected, I'd now like to talk about what you as individuals, groups, and teams can do to keep computer security at its highest level. At this point, I think it's important for each of you to remember that you are the most important aspect of computer security. If you think that computer security means waiting until someone else in your office takes care of it, you're asking for trouble. That's like leaving your keys in your car with the door open and hoping that the next person who walks by will lock it up for you and return your keys. In other words, you have to assume personal responsibility for protecting your computer system. But you know, computer security is really very simple if you take some basic precautions and develop good security habits. The first thing everyone has to remember is to protect their individual areas. When you're at home, you probably wouldn't be surprised to see the mailman walking up your sidewalk to deliver the mail. But what if he showed up in your living room? The same principle applies at work. Know who should be in your area. If someone doesn't belong, don't be afraid to ask questions. Protect your equipment and data. You wouldn't leave your house unlocked, so lock up valuables at work, such as files, disks, hard copies, and terminals. Your password can give someone else complete access to your files, and no one but you should know it. If you knew a stranger had a copy of your house keys, you'd change your locks immediately. The same should be true for your password. Don't give it to anyone and change it frequently. Be sure to use words that can't be easily associated with you. And make sure no one sees you enter it. One of the most important things is to remember to log off. If you forget, you're putting your files and every other piece of information on that network in jeopardy. Unauthorized software may seem like a great addition to your office, and you may have all the best intentions for using it, but it can turn out to be more trouble than it's worth. Viruses and related threats such as Trojan horses, worms, and time bombs can shut down an entire system. The best way to avoid them is by using only authorized software. There are antivirus programs which help to prevent infection. Your division should have one available. Check to make sure your computer has an antivirus program installed. If not, talk to your supervisor about getting one. And just as an extra precaution, it's always a good idea to back up your files before installing any new software. If you need to purge your memory, you have to be certain that all of the memory is completely erased or destroyed, so it can't be accessed later. There is equipment available to accomplish this, so find out what support is available to you. A degausser is used to clear most magnetic data, but floppy disks need to be shredded or burned. Most software can be overwritten, but must be done properly. Ask for help. Find out the right way to do these procedures, and make sure anything you do is approved in writing. You may not be able to tell if someone or something has tampered with your information, so be alert. Look for unusual activity on your system. Watch your data. Has any been lost? Have there been any unauthorized changes? Is your data wrong? If you see inconsistencies, you may have a security problem, and you should report it immediately. And finally, keep backups of your data and be sure to keep all duplicates in a safe place. I know that as a Department of Justice employee, you're all very, very busy. No one appreciates the importance of your work more than I do. But the safety precautions we've just discussed can easily be learned if you practice good habits. The basic steps you take regarding security are extremely important. The time it takes to prevent security problems is nothing compared to the time you and your colleagues will spend if your information is compromised. And don't forget, time is not the only thing you lose. Think about the human suffering that can be caused if your information gets into the wrong hands. Keep in mind the three things we've discussed. Sensitive information. You now understand that everything you work with is sensitive information. Risk management. Find out what risks are a danger to you, take steps to avoid them. And accountability. Remember, you're responsible for your work and equipment. I've had the privilege to work with a lot of Department of Justice employees, and I know firsthand just how conscientious and serious you are about your work. I hope this video has helped you to understand how serious it is to protect your computer's information. And I know every one of you will want to do your part for all Americans.